What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome to Woosah Wednesday, you guys. This is my character analysis for Season 2, Underground. Underground's season finale happens tonight. Of course, I will be on deck with an extremely detailed review. I am super excited about it. But as we do with all great shows that I love to do a character analysis of the main characters of the show. If you guys have not seen my reviews for Season 1 of Queen Sugar, as well as the character analysis for Season 1 Queen Sugar, go ahead and check out the link that I have included in the description bar down below and get into Queen Sugar. It happens for us Season 2 again in June, and I am super excited about it, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for that review. Let's get into Underground Season 2. Our first character that we are going to analyze is Noah. The character of Noah is played by Aldous Hodge, and Noah's character is a natural leader. He's a warrior spirit. We see Noah at his best as a leader. He is industrious and inventive. He is clever and confident. Noah is determined. For me, Noah has very, very still waters that run deep. And he represents everything that I, as a black woman, love about a black man, and he also represents all the things that white people fear and hate about a black man. Okay, let's get into Rosalie. Rosalie is played by Journey Smollett-Bell. You may know Rosalie from one of my favorite movies, which is Eve's Bayou. Rosalie's character is strong and determined. Rosalie is purposeful. She is committed. Rosalie is loyal. She is somewhat reserved. And Rosalie is a bone collector like her mom, Ernestine. She knows how to assess a situation and turn it around and make it work for her good. She is driven, and what we know more than anything about Rosalie is that she is brave. What's great about Rosalie for me, in Season 1 we see her confident and headstrong as a young adult, but in Season 2 we get to see a more grown up. We see Rosalie as a woman. She is knowledgeable, and she is very, very confident, and more importantly, she is the very definition of tenacity. What Rosalie wants, Rosalie goes hard for. Let's talk about Ernestine. Ernestine is a character that is played by Amira Van, and Ernestine is Rosalie's mom. She is the most transparent, I feel, this season. We saw Steen dance with the devil by the pale moonlight in Season 2. She was this season's most exposed character. Steen remains the undisputed queen of handling business. She is an excellent assessor. She knows how to assess a situation. Like I said, she's passed that on down to Rosalie. She knows how to look at a situation and all of the people that's within that situation, and she knows how to turn it around for her own good and the good of her family. We see Ernestine in Season 2. She is smart. She is determined. She is wounded, she is hardened, she is jaded, but she is hopeful, and she is defiant. Steen, for me, represents all the single mothers who do what they've got to do to make sure their children have the very, very best of whatever it is. Okay? She's that woman that brings home the bacon, and she knows how to fry it up in a pan. Okay, let's move on to Kaito. Kaito is played by Alano Miller. There is no character more in need of an altar call than Kaito. Kaito is self-destructive. He is divisive. His character is cocky and mean-spirited. His character is often going off half-cocked. Kaito can be very scary. He's very dangerous at times. He is also slightly frightened. You know, he is a victim of circumstances in a lot of occasions, and just the overall hellish life of slavery. We see it in Kaito. He is a fractured, splintered individual, and we see that same fracturing and splintering within our own people to this day. It is the war between self-awareness and the need to fit in that is an issue. And we see that so strongly here with Kaito as he grapples with his anger and his morality at every turn. Kaito is our roller coaster character for season 2. And I have to say, he was the same way in season 1. Let's talk about Elizabeth. Elizabeth was a very, very pivotal character in this season 2 as well. Elizabeth is played by Jessica DeGao. When we first see Elizabeth in season 1, she is naive and self-serving. But because of her husband, John, she was knitted into the life of an abolitionist. It's not until season 2 we see how the tragedy of John's death catapults her into her role head first. And thanks to her sister, her friend, her guide, Georgia, we see a shift in Elizabeth. And around episode 4, and of course after hearing Harriet in episode 6, she becomes more focused. She becomes more inventive. Elizabeth also becomes more ruthless. She becomes a little bit more no excuses Elizabeth. She's not accepting any excuses now. She is making her mark for the cause for sure. Let's talk about Harriet. Harriet Tubman's is played by Aisha Hines, okay? The Underground Railroad's most famous conductor is played beautifully by Aisha Hines. Harriet's character is gritty and unrelenting. Her character is the very definition of perseverance, and she does have this unrelenting will in her drive to help scores of enslaved people reach their freedom. For me personally, Harriet Tubman's character represents how we as humans must take all that we are and all that we have learned to strengthen our faith and walk in our purpose. Harriet Tubman was just a regular slave, like all Negroes of that time, but she redefined the label defiant and rebel and turned it into tenacity and leadership. I love Harriet's character. I love Aisha Hines' portrayal and interpretation of Harriet Tubman. If you guys have not seen episode 6 of Underground entitled Minty, do yourself a favor. Okay, let's talk about a couple of auxiliary characters real quick. First and foremost, we are going to talk about Georgia. Georgia is played by Jessica Nicole. She is, the character of Georgia is an abolitionist with a covert station along the underground, and she has a quiet confidence that hides a secret of her own. We see that Georgia's character is really full of strength. One thing I love about Underground is that all of the characters are diverse and they have many layers. We see that exhibited beautifully in Georgia. Like I said, she has become an excellent friend to Elizabeth and guide Elizabeth along her path and guide her towards Harriet. Let's also talk about August Pullman. August Pullman is played by Christopher Maloney. You guys know Christopher Maloney from Law and Order SUV. And August Pullman is a lone wolf slave catcher who walks a tightrope between morality and survival. We don't really get to see a lot from August Pullman until really the last 2 episodes, which one of which will be tonight in the season finale. But for sure, he definitely walks a tightrope between morality and survival. We've seen it in season 1, and we also get to see it here in season 2. Lastly, let's talk about the character of Daniel. Daniel's character is played by Bokeem Woodbine. And what is so unusual about Daniel's character is that we only see him for a few brief minutes during the first of, I think, about 5 or 6 of the 10 episodes. We see him at the very end of one episode, and then a couple of episodes we don't see his character at all. And there was a lot of supposition about who Daniel was, whose father he was, whose brother he was, and what he represented as a character in Underground. Woodbine, he may not have had a huge role in the series, at least as of yet, but his performance as an educated slave, again named Daniel, has proven to be an integral part of the story. The executive producers, Maisha Green and Joe Pokaski, they set out to tell this intricate story, and I think it's been done beautifully. The historical landscape has expanded exponentially of Underground, which with the inclusion of Harriet Tubman, played by Aisha Hines, and Frederick Douglass, played by John Legend. But we can't lose sight of the fact that at its core, Underground is a work of dramatic fiction. This is where Daniel comes in, acting as a narrator of sorts. His life experience helped to inform the theme of each episode, adding some historical accuracy, and it harkens back to everyday heroes of our time. We see that Daniel is a beautifully drawn character. He is strong, he is self-assured, he is accomplished in his own right, he is skilled, and he absolutely represents the tenacity and the audacity of Negroes during the slave period. And if anyone is here for Daniel, you guys already know that I am a diehard Daniel fan for season 2, and I am excited about seeing him possibly back for season 3. Well, that is it for our analysis of Underground season 2. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this season 2 so far. I hope that you guys are looking forward to tonight's season finale. I'd love to know who was one of your favorite characters. Put it down below and let me know. What was one of your biggest surprises for this season? Of course, put it down below and let me know. Also, I'd like to know, what are some of your hopes or anticipated hopes for the possible season 3? How would you like to see some of our characters evolve? Or maybe there are some characters that you don't care to ever see again. Put that all down below. I'd love to know. You guys, thank you so much for all your support during this season 2 of Underground. It was my first time reviewing it, and I had a wonderful time with this show. Not just because this show was so beautifully written, but because of you, my supporters. You guys gave me so much life down in those comments. You guys are smart, and you have an eye for detail, and it makes me just that much better as a YouTuber. It makes my content that much better. And again, I am a much better reviewer because of you guys, and I thank you for that. So I will see you guys later on tonight. Get excited, and please don't forget to check me out for season 2 of Queen Sugar, which starts, I think, June 21st. So until next time, honeybees, please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button on your way out. Until next time, honeybees, ah.